welcome back to FiddleUP. I'm Emerald Ray, and today we are going to learn Greasy Coat. This is a very, very classic old-time tune. This is one of those must-know tunes, and it's really easy. I could have put this in the beginner course, but I kind of wanted to really dig into all the fun stuff that you can do in this tune a little bit more. So I put it in here. This is definitely an old-time essential. This is one of those must-know tunes. And so we're in A minor-ish for this one. We're sort of starting in A minor, but we're going to be sliding around on that C a lot. Now, something you should know, like pretty much everybody plays this tune differently. I mean, it's got kind of a basic form. This is definitely the way I play it and the way I like to play it. But yeah, everybody's got it's a very basic tune, but everybody's got a different flavor for sure. It's one of those tunes that has a lot of variations and everybody has their own spin. So if we go over the basic tune, mine might be a little bit more notey than other versions of this tune might have less notes in it. But again, because I'm always adding that kind of Celtic flavor, I'm always adding notes in for sure. So that's where we're coming from with this. But we're definitely going to be adding double stops, and we're definitely going to be adding these slides in because we have to do this bluesy slide. It really makes this tune what it is. This tune is pretty wild in flavor, so we're definitely going to be doing these slides. So what you're going to do is start off on a C natural and then slide through almost up to the C sharp. You're kind of never going to get it. You're never going to get all the way up there and stop. You're just kind of slide through to the blue zone and then lift off from there. So we're never really going to get, it's very bluesy. And you know, that mushy third exists in blues, it exists in old time, it exists in Celtic music. So you know, it's not everywhere in Celtic music. Celtic music tends to leave the third out a lot and slide or change from minor to major. But you know, there's definitely places where that bluesy third exists, and there's definitely other tonality things in Celtic music. So to me, this feels like a mix of sort of African influenced blues music and Celtic music at the same time. You know, it's all kind of related to the same thing. You know, that just kind of, we don't know if it's minor or major. We could change our minds at any moment. You know, that kind of ambiguous third is where I'm going with that. So this tune is a song also, if you want to learn the words. But we'll stick with just the tune today. Da 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 da. So we're gonna go with that bluesy third, and then go down to your G on your D string. Open A, B, A. So, oh, sorry. Something happened down there. So, C, A, or the bluesy C, A. Down G, A, B, A. And then the second phrase is, and I like to do that with my fourth finger. So, down to the G, and then A with your fourth finger, so I get a nice unison there. So that's the whole first phrase there. So the bowing is kind of down and up, down, and up. So I'm getting a kind of nice swooping bow feel there. So I'm just going to make it sound groovier, and also I'm ending on a big up bow so I can come down on the next big downbeat. And that's very, like, a lot of old time bowing does that, where you end on a big up bow and start fresh with a big down bow. So let's try that again. And then you can do a little pickup into the next line. So that's just A, B, and then. So that's very similar, but slightly different. So we have. So it's the same phrase, but I'm adding a little E on the bottom there. Just to give it a little bit of something different on the second time through. And then the last phrase is going down to the E again, up to the G, and then playing around with that fourth finger on the A, on the D string. There we go. So the whole second phrase sounds like this. One more time. So you definitely want to be hitting that open A string there, getting that double stop in. And again, I'm adding that in right away because in old time music, you don't really play single notes. It's really a lot of double stopping all of the time. And, it's very like Scottish music and Cape Breton music, double stops a lot. But old time, it's definitely a wall of double stops all the time. It's very much chordal music. So when you go back and play your Scottish and your Irish tunes, you can be playing your Scottish and Irish tunes with a lot of double stops like me. And, it all works out. It adds this really kind of drony harmonic flavor. It's really lovely, I think. So let's go back to the beginning of the A part and do all of this together. I think we can manage that. So that's what we have. So let's try that one more time, and so remember to keep it simple on the first part and then add the extra notes in on the second round. So remember, I'm hitting my open E in the first part there. And then I'm hitting my open A. And then on the second bar. So I'm just keeping my bow on the top two strings and then the middle two strings and then the top two strings and the middle two strings again. So it's pretty intuitive as you're getting into it. Okay, so now as we're getting into the next part, so that's pretty easy. So we just have C, A, C, D, E, and then G, E, D, C, B, D, B. I know my letters. So let's take the first part. We have C, A, C, D, E. One more time. And then, so that's G, E, D, B. So let's do that all together. One more time. And then the next part here. Which you already know. So let's try to do that third phrase into the fourth phrase. more time. All right, so let's try the whole A part together. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. There we have it. That's the whole A part there. And so continuing on to the B. This one is really easy. It's very repetitive, so this is going to go really quickly. So the first phrase is so that's A, B, C, D, open E, down to the D, E, F sharp, G, G, G. And we're going to do a big pulsing bow there. So that's down, up. So it'll be down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And you can add some more slurs in there if you want to. I do sometimes and I don't sometimes. So you can also do that. That's kind of like an Irish 1 down and 3 up kind of pattern, which exists in old time as well, obviously. So you'll notice in old time bowing, there's a lot of emphasis on the up bows. You're kind of concentrating mostly on doing up bows. At least that's what it feels like when you come from Celtic music, especially Scottish music, where it's very strictly regimented, where you're doing down, up, down, up, down, and it's all about the accents. And then when you get into Irish music and old time, and it just feels like you're doing an up bow 100% of the time. So if that's what it feels like to you, that's not uncommon. So let's try that again. And then you're going to do a big anticipated A here. So you're going to hit the A a little bit before the beat. So that's the second phrase. So see how easy that is? So we have... So we're going to go up the scale, da, 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 and then F sharp, G, and then all of that again, but with a G, A at the end. So da, 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 G, A. With the same bowing and everything, or different bowing if you want to mix it up a little bit. And then the third phrase, we're going to hit that A early again. So almost the same, but we're going to go hit that G. And then G, F sharp, E, D. So that whole part sounds like this. and then the last phrase is, we already know. Easy as pie, huh? All right, so let's start from the top of the A part. So we'll go up the scale to the G, and then up to the scale to the A, up to the scale to the G, and then down the scale again, and da 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 da, and that's the whole B part. Nice and easy. So let's start that first A a little bit early. 1, 2, 3, and 1. Alrighty, so that is Greasy Coat. And so let's do the whole thing together. We're gonna dee da 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 dee da da da, and then the B part is da 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 da. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Yoo-hoo! So that is that. And so depending on where you want to go with this, I like to go in a very wild direction because this is a pretty wild tune. So I like to really milk those, when you're getting this tune up to speed, you can really milk those bluesy thirds there. And I like to stay down in the bottom of my bow for this tune. I really feel like this whole tune, especially the A part, you just get so much grab down on the bottom there. So depending on how much grit you want in your bow, I kind of, for a tune like this, I kind of go extra sandpapery for sure. Now you can do that same bowing up here. So it's down, up, down, up, down, up, down, and up, down, up, down, up. You know, that kind of thing. I'm not paying too much attention to it. I'm kind of going by feel. So it's pretty simple. It's actually simpler than what we did when we were learning it. So now that we're going a little bit faster, bowing like that is really hard to do slow. So it's easier to do when you're playing this tune a little bit slower. You're going to take more single bows. But if you're going really fast, you're going to want to slur through. So what I'm doing is down, up, up. So down, up, down, up, down, up, down and up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Right? So there's only 2 bows in that. So it's very simple bowing, actually. And then it's continuing on. Right? So the same thing, just two bows. Just one big down bow and one pulsing up bow. And then continuing on. So same idea. I'm kind of adding a slur in there so I don't have to do too much. So you see how I'm keeping it really simple? I'll show you that again. And so doing the bowing like that, and it would be sort of the same idea in the B part. But we kind of went over that already, so I won't, it would be sort of the same idea, but the B part's a little bit different. That's why I wanted to go over that slowly. So when you get up to a big fast speed, that's really simple bowing is going to enable you to go really fast if you want to. So in terms of, ornamentation, there isn't much ornamentation in old time bowing, kind of using those bluesy notes, which we already did before, and all those double stops, which we've already done before. We kind of did a lot. That's kind of all I wanted to say was the faster bowing. And then this is kind of one of those tunes that you can go really wild on. And, like I was saying, using the grit and the speed and the wildness of those thirds, like basically, like your third never has to be in tune, and maybe it shouldn't be. If your second finger totally comes down in the wrong spot, it's not going to sound bad at all. So it's just going to sound weird, which is what you're going for. It's going to sound a little off kilter. And so that's what you're going for with this tune. So I hope you enjoy getting this tune up to maximum speed. I hope you have a lot of fun with it, and I will see you in the next video.